And this follows days of fighting which saw them firing rockets into government territory. The Syrian government has told its forces, which are backed by Russia, that the battle isn't over yet. The rebels also retreated from the town of Morek, which is in Hama, and it's the site of a Turkish military observation post. Khan Sheikhoun in southern Idlib province is a main population center. It used to be a place where 100,000 Syrians took shelter before the military escalation began in April. Towns nearby in the northern Hama countryside have fallen to government forces. But for the Syrian government, the big prize was getting control of Khan Sheikhoun. That will give it access to the M5. It's an important economic highway that crosses the country. Zeina Khodr has more from Beirut.
Khan Sheikhoun is back under the control of the Syrian government. Images released by pro-regime media show the town in southern Idlib empty of residents and fighters. Rebels withdrew early on Tuesday after days of fighting and hundreds of airstrikes. Its location gives the Syrian government access to parts of a vital commercial highway that connects the northern city of Aleppo to the capital, Damascus. It has been a military objective for months.
This is a very important development in the course of this conflict on Idlib. This is the first step, the first stage maybe, in an effort by the government to regain control of the territories along the M5 road between Hama and Aleppo. I think the next target will be Ma'arat al-Nu'man.
The opposition didn't just lose Khan Sheikhoun. Rebel fighters had little choice but to leave towns further south in the northern Hama countryside. They would have risked being besieged if they didn't move further north. The opposition was hoping the presence of a Turkish observation post in the area would stop the government advance. But an attempt by the Turkish military to reinforce that position failed when an airstrike launched by a Syrian or Russian warplane on Monday prevented it from reaching its destination. The Syrian government and its allies have been advancing in the past 2 weeks. They have now taken more territory than they did in the first 3 months of their military campaign. It's not clear if the rebels, who have been subjected to heavy firepower, are exhausted or if the army is using better tactics, like concentrating the strikes close to the front lines and on rebel supply routes. But the relentless airstrikes and bombardment continue to force people into displacement. In recent days, more than 25,000 are believed to have moved north, closer to the border with Turkey. War monitors and activists say over 700,000 Syrians are homeless since the military escalation began in late April.
The past few days witnessed unprecedented bombardment. That is why the people who didn't leave during the first months of the offensive packed everything and left. Most of them believe their houses will either be fully destroyed or taken over by the regime.
The bombardment of opposition-held towns across southern Idlib continues as the Syrian government presses on with its offensive. There have been more civilian casualties as rebels promise to defend what is left of their last stronghold. The battle is not over. Zeina Khodr, Al Jazeera, Beirut.